The Edmonton Oilers are headed back to the Las Vegas Strip, and much like me on the nation vacation, are trying to make up 4 past losses as the Oilers and Golden Knights meet in round 2 for the second time in the last 3 years. I love the playoffs. I love this matchup, dude. This is the 2 last teams to reach the Stanley Cup final, as I'm just thinking about the Edmonton Oilers and the things that passed us. But Pacific Division rivals, you got star power, you've got bad blood in this series. We will revisit that in just a minute. You name it, we got it all. Oilers, Knights, Oilers. But hello, what up, and welcome to round 2 of Pregaming with Bordzy, presented by Sherwood Ford the Giant, and is also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today, because you know the drill. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary. And this evening, all evening long, I am joined by writer at Oilers Nation, Sean Panganiban, Bordzy, and Pangsy. It's your first playoff edition of Pregaming down here at Greta Bar Yeg. The sun is a-shining, going directly into Patrick Puff's eyes as he's trying to produce this show. So shout out to him. But Panger, vibe check, how we doing? Round 2, brother.
Really good. The sun is shining, like you said. I hope Pat put some sunscreen on there. I hope
he put his jersey on because he was going to burn.
He looks good. But the vibes are high. It's starting to get busy in here. It's going to be a good game. You got 2 titans of the West, the Edmonton Oilers, the Vegas Golden Knights. It's going to be a great game tonight.
Pacific Division rivals. And as I said, there is a lot of bad blood. Also, love, 7:30 puck drop for this one tonight. Yeah. Shout out. I like that. I know our pal Devin Dubnyk, who is going to join us at the back end of this show. He is definitely going to appreciate that one. Quickly, want to give some love to Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day of the week. I restocked up once again. I bought a flat for round 1. Shockingly, those were done. And the funny part is, I don't even watch games at home. So I watch all the games here, but I still found a way to drink all of them throughout round 1. Bought a second flat over the weekend. I'm primed, ready to go. So should you. Check liquorconnect.com and find out some local liquor stores that are carrying those bad boys. So I want to start positive because it's round 2. Vibes are feeling incredible. And Pat, we have a video here. We played it on ONE, but we got to take a look at Bob Stauffer once again, because this is what dreams are made of, Sean Panganiban. I've seen this video on my feed 1,000 times today. I figured I'd give it to you 1,001 times more. That is one hell of a slow-mo airplane walk-up. That's league-leading aura right there. Peyton, our 19-year-old, no longer intern coworker, taught me how to use that term, and I feel like I used that properly. Speaking of broadcasters looking fantastic, Pat, I believe we also have a photo of our boy Gene Principe, because he cleaned up. Everybody is getting ready for round 2 of the NHL playoffs. He went from, and I love Gene, looking possibly disheveled, you might even say, to damn straight up handsome. You give the guy a tan and a haircut, you pop that collar open. Gene Principe looks fantastic. Panger, this is a good omen for the Edmonton Oilers.
He looks absolutely stunning. Maybe he himself could have put a little bit of suntan or sunblock himself, but he looks mighty fine. And you know what? I feel he's going to put on a great presentation. You look good, you feel good.
If he cut his hair and he posted that and all the attention that it got online today, something tells me he's going to be in his bag for the start of this hockey game. I am so excited for that. Let's get caught up into the chat, because we just met one of our favorite people in the chat this season. McHigh and Dry did come live and in person, live and in the flesh, baby. And I can't tell you what he does for work, all these things. All I can tell you is, in fact, very smart people do, in fact, watch Pregaming with Bordzy, because shout out to him. But Mr. Burns was the first comment, says, "Let's go Oilers. Time to beat these Knights on our quest for the Grail." Yeah. That's nice, Mr. Burns. She also adds, Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Then we got Fighting Amish. Let's go, boys and girls. Big game, Ferda Oilers. I haven't said Ferda in a very long time. Ferda Fighting Amish. That. Let's go, Bob Stauffer. Handsome is in. He says, big Trent night tonight. Who knows? Do guys 777. Hark, doth thy be a Cup, yeah.
Cup, Yeah.
Shay, let's go Oilers. Mackay and Dry Cup year. Let's go Oilers. Cheryl, who we do love, was awesome on the Nation vacation. Said, was great to see the Nation crew at Greta on Thursday. You guys are the bomb. It's a cup year, baby.
Cup, yeah.
It was a cup year party after the Edmonton Oilers defeated the LA Kings in Game 6. Still had to work early Friday morning. Shout out to the Bender Extender. I've been telling a lot of people to go check them out because I felt way better than I should have Friday morning. I was ready to put in a full day's work. But the man of the hour, it's Mackay and Dry. He said, so cool meeting Bordzy and Bordzy and Pangsy. He said, come visit me at the U of A Emerge tonight. That's not because he's in pain or in trouble, but he wanted to drop off Bordzy bars in person. He also dropped off beers for the entire crew.
Yeah.
Lance Kane, he's
What a
coming
beauty.
for your throne as biggest beauty at Greta at the chat, or in the chat. Mackay and Dry, $13.99. Bordzy bars live edition. Fuck the Knights. Yeah, that's right. Mackay and Dry popped up at Greta tonight. Pickard in the spotlight because he's hotter than the wings that Zach bites. 3 more rounds, boys. The cup is in sight. God damn, Mackay and
Right
Dry.
on.
You never cease to amaze me, man. You do fantastic work. And shout out to you. I love seeing all you guys in person down here at Greta Bar Yag. I saw a lot of you Thursday night after Game 6. And let's just say the vibes were absolutely incredible. That's enough about round 1 because we are on to round 2. Viva Las Vegas. Sure would be nice to be doing another Nation vacation right about now. Pangsy was nice beginning of April. Can only imagine how hot it is there right now and being back at Stadium Swim. That was a beautiful time. But I'd like to quote the great Aubrey Graham. Drake got me out here looking for revenge because we all remember it's still fresh in the fields. 2023 second round against the Golden Knights where they defeated the Oilers in 6 games. I was actually in the building for Game 6 of that series. I had enough third period beers to fill a bathtub because I knew how that game was going to end. We knew that the Oilers just really didn't stand a chance. They were outclassed against the Vegas Golden Knights in that series. But that series was a wild one, dude. It was full of momentum swings and very emotional moments. There were 312 penalty minutes handed out in the 6 games. There were 2 suspensions given out to each team's highest paid defenseman in Alex Pietrangelo. Don't want to say what I want to say there. And, of course, Darnell Nurse. Game 2 is where we saw shit hit the fan for the first time, right? So there were 2 fights. There were 6 misconduct penalties in the last 6 minutes, capped off by Evander Kane blowing a kiss to the Vegas crowd. It was beautiful. And then Game 4 is where shit really boiled over. So we saw the Alex Pietrangelo / Zach Patrick. I do believe we have the video right here as well because I took a trip down memory lane earlier today. My blood started boiling the moment I watched this, and I went, oh, yeah, forgot how much I do, in fact, hate Alex Pietrangelo, because this one, he's up there touching the moon, bringing that stick down onto Leon Draisaitl's wrists. In my research, I watched a clip of Jonathan Marchessault after in the offseason going, yeah, I was talking on the bench and went, holy shit, that was dirty, man. An insane play. That was nasty. You see Leon Draisaitl at the end of the clip. He's giving shit here to the entire Vegas bench and Pietrangelo saying, what the hell is that? And then got even crazier at the end of the game where Darnell Nurse got, which I still think was total BS, a 1-game suspension for instigating, comes in flying here, grabs Nicholas Hague and Panger. This was one of my favorite Darnell Nurse fights I can remember. There was so much emotion in this one. Somehow at the end of it, his back of his jersey is covered in blood. You can only assume that's from Nicholas Hague's face. This energy was insane when we were watching this. The bad blood, as I mentioned, is very real. Thoughts on if we get half of the emotion that we got in 2023? Something tells me you're going to be watching a very entertaining series.
Absolutely. And I just want to talk about this fight in particular. The one thing that I love about Darnell Nurse is when he gets in scraps, the more he gets tagged, the more he pissed off he gets and just start beating the shit out of people. But you know what? I'm going to counter that, Bordzy. I'm going to say I want less. I want to be boring. I want less emotion. The reason being, I'm going to be boring. I want less emotion. Reason being, I feel. Do you remember I think it was Game 2? Where was the one where Kane was pummeling Kolzar? Was that Game 2?
I think so.
I think
that's what led to all the madness.
Is that what he said? The F around and find out thing too?
Somewhere around there.
I think so.
So many beautiful Evander Kane moments.
Exactly.
Can't keep track.
I love that, but you know what? I'd say the Oilers are about business right now. It's business time. Business time. It's business time. I love the entertainment. I kind of want less emotion.
Yeah, and exactly. That's one thing that it boiled over in game 4 there. You saw with Darnell Nurse and Pietrangelo. They ended up both being suspended, both putting their team down, their best defenseman at the time. So not a situation you want to be in. I hear you. That makes sense. No,
I know.
I want all the emotion. I want playoff hockey.
Me
I want
too.
fist
I
be
know.
thrown. Shout out Nation Dan. He's here, runner of hockey fights. The man
Right.
is jonesing for a hockey fight to cut up and put up on the website, put on the Instagram, because playoffs tend to be, as you said, about business, brother. But this is a playoff matchup through and through. Like the LA Kings, there's bad blood, but you could say maybe it's not the high-flying skill of the Vegas Golden Knights. Something tells me that we are going to be in for a treat. In round 1, depth, I'd say, was the major storyline for the Edmonton Oilers. In total, they scored 15 goals, 5v5 over the 6 games, and 11 of their 12 forwards were able to get on the score sheet. The only one who didn't, Vasily Podkolzin, who we were talking about it, was too busy racking up 4 apples, 29 hits in 6 games, and only averaged just over 10 minutes a night on the ice, which is crazy for the impact and how noticeable Vasily Podkolzin is out there. In games 5 and 6, the Oilers scored 6 5v5 goals, none of them coming from Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. The depth simply won them the series, and I'm not even talking about the depth in John Klingberg or the depth of Calvin Pickard in between the pipes. We'll touch on that one in just a second. We know it. Depth scoring is going to be crucial in round 2 against the Vegas Golden Knights. We've seen it in past history. 2023, Connor and Leon each registered in the 6 games 11 goals between the two. Hyman and Bouchard chipped in 3, so that's 14. The rest of the team in 6 games was only able to score 5 goals. That is not sustainable if you want to continue to go nuclear with 97 and 29 on the top line. Bottom line, the Oilers, they need production when 97 and 29 are off the ice. But, brother, I saw enough things in round 1 from the rest of that lineup. You saw the chemistry build with Kaner, Nuge, Hyman. You saw the third line of, I'm not going to lie to you, I placed a Connor Brown anytime goal bet tonight because he's just been feeling it lately, and him with Rico and Trent Frederick has been a force. And then the fourth line, Janmark, Pods, Arvey have been getting it done as well. Depth going to be a major factor in this series if the Oilers want to win.
Absolutely. And I think if you compare the two teams, the Oilers forward group is a lot stronger, I feel, than the Vegas Golden Knights from 1 to 4. Like you said, I think Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they only combined for 3 points in the last 2 games against LA. And it was all their depth guys chipping in with Henry got his first, Frederick, like you mentioned, and then Connor Brown. What a huge game. If you look from lines 1, 2, and 3, and 4, they all kind of have a good element. They all have kind of a driver. They all have that big hitting forward. And then you got that fourth line, and I can't believe it's kind of a fourth line. You got Pods, you got Arvidsson, and then you got Janmark, the reliable Matthias Janmark down the middle who can skate and is reliable. Pods and RV have chemistry. You insert Janmark as your fourth line.
You put Draisaitl there during the year. You put Nuge there during the year. You put Matthias Janmark there, and these guys are still productive because, you know, Pods just plays that consistent. His game travels. It's not dependent on the scoring. It's about hard work, effort, getting in the forecheck. Disturbing, shit disturber, I will say. And then Victor Arvidsson, never made a shot he didn't like, brother. He's going to keep on ripping from everywhere. I mentioned it, the depth important, but nowhere more massive than in the crease. And our pal Calvin Pickard, he steadied the crease. He stole Stuart Skinner's job, and he went 4-0 in the first round of the NHL playoffs. The only undefeated goalie left in these playoffs. He was simply incredible. May have saved the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Numbers won't blow you away. 293 goals against, 893 save percentage. But as Liam and I always say on ONE, the only thing that matters is that win category, and it's 4-0 right now for Picks. And we remember the end of the season, right? Picks was handling a starter's workload. I believe he started 8 of the final games, or roughly 8 in a row stretch. He won 5 of them. He had a dead even 900 save percentage over that stretch. And much like what we're seeing here in round 1, he's just clutch when you need him. He's just making big third period and overtime saves. You had a great article. You should check it at Oilersnation.com. You can open up that tab while still watching Pregaming with Bordzy, reading with Pangsy. That's what we can call that article as well. But Picks, right? Just when you need him, he's got ice in his veins. He robbed Anze Kopitar in the dead slot. Huge moment in Game 3. He robbed Warren Fogle on a breakaway. Granted, I'd say in Game 4, you knew Warren Fogle wasn't going to score on that bad boy. Kevin Fiala wraparound in Game 5, where he slid post to post. Then, of course, another post-to-post toe save on Brant Clark in Game 6. That one was massive, and it's just Pickard has been consistently a stud in the third period and in the clutch moments when you need him. It was been discussed whether it would be Stuart Skinner, whether it would be Calvin Pickard. To me, it was never a question. You ride the hot hand. The man has won 4 games in a row. The man has yet to lose. The man's also better in the clutch moments. I would also remind you, he beat the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas in a playoff atmosphere where both of us were. It was funny. I was looking up the numbers today, and I went, I don't totally remember that part about that one, but did my research and kind of refreshed. I do remember Bordzy's bankroll going 3 for 3 on the nation vacation. Thoughts on Chris Knobloch's choice to start Calvin Pickard? I think it's clearly the right one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely. The last couple days in the interweb, there was like a little bit of controversy. Should it be Stuart Skinner in the starter? Should it be Pickard? I wrote an article saying it should be Pickard. Like you said, He won 4 games in a row. In my opinion, he turned that series around against the LA Kings and all the things you mentioned, all the clutch saves. But another thing that I really love that Calvin Pickard has going for him is the resilient story he's on. He's out to prove everybody who doubted him throughout his career. But the Vegas Golden Knights, he was the first ever pick in the 2018 expansion draft from the Vegas Golden Knights. Played 2 exhibition games, and then they traded him before the regular season. I feel Calvin Pickard, not only is his confidence at an all-time high, but I think he's going to be highly motivated to prove everybody wrong, especially the Vegas Golden Knights.
Don't make me quote Drake again, because we out here looking for revenge. God damn it. Yeah, Calvin Pickard. And it was weird, right? Because I think it was Saturday or Sunday. Either way, one of the days, Stuart Skinner was in the starter's stand at practice, and then the following day was Calvin Pickard. I'm like, Nobby, you know how to make things interesting. You know how to give us stuff to talk about here at Oilers Nation, and I will forever be grateful for that. So as I said, you get done with one hated rival in the LA Kings, you move on to the Vegas Golden Knights. They are a big team, strong team, physical team, experienced team. Come on, they're everything we know. This is going to be an incredibly tough series for the Edmonton Oilers. They're much different than the team that beat the Oil in 2023. I'd argue, though, they are just as dangerous and cannot be taken lightly. I also don't think we've seen the best of the Golden Knights in these playoffs. They struggled round 1 against the Minnesota Wild. They were actually down 2-1 in that series at one point. Then they found their game in games 4 to 6, and Aiden Hill had well above a 900. I believe it had a 918 over the final 3 games of that series, and they found it. We know the Golden Knights. We know their game. This is nothing new. Pacific Division rivals. They've won the Pacific Division 5 out of the 8 years they've been in the league. And this season, well, they were number 2 on the power play. They were number 5 in goals per game, 4th in shots on goal, 3rd in goals allowed, 4th in shots allowed, 2nd in PIMs. But their one weakness, Pangsy, was their 26th ranked penalty kill unit. Connor McDavid, power play point, bankroll. You can bank on that one later this evening. This Vegas Golden Knights team, though, they're just a different beast than the LA Kings. They're skilled, they're mean, they're nasty. They're all of those things. It's definitely going to take the Oilers' best punch. I just mentioned those numbers. Here you see them on your screen of the regular season. And better goals for than the Oilers, better goals against, better power play. That PK, baby, let's go. We got that. Thoughts on this matchup in general? It's going to be a tough one for the Edmonton Oilers. Going to take their best punch.
Are we talking about the special teams or just in general?
Everything. Hey, everything. Whatever you want, dog. Whatever you want.
You know what? I think it's exactly what you said. I think it's going to come down to depth. You know what? The Vegas Golden Knights, the last 2 games, they put a line together of William Karlsson, Mark Stone, and Jack Eichel. And that in 60 minutes, that line went like 3 goals for and didn't get scored on. So they have kind of an option to neutralize the top line of McDavid and Draisaitl, but I really feel it comes down to depth. I'm looking at the Oilers from 1 to 4. I'm telling you, I'm going to say this. 2006, when the Oilers went to the Cup final, I looked at their forward lineup and I said, this team is deep. And I'm looking at the forward lineup now. They're playing to their potential, and you and I were talking about in pregame, Vander Kane, Trent Frederick, everybody else are getting into the groove, getting over the injuries. I think it's going to come down to the depth, and I think the Oilers have way better depth.
And I feel very confident. I'd also argue they have the better top-end talent. Yeah. They've got the depth in the forward group. The back end is going to be the one area where I am nervous. That's going to be my spotlight without a doubt. Can the Oilers defense handle a dump and chase game from the Golden Knights, who are very good at making you turn the puck over, and we know the Oilers love to turn the puck over in their own end specifically.
They also have a secret weapon in a sexy Bob Stauffer, you know?
Come on now.
You know?
Don't make me pull Gene back up here again. Don't make me show you him again. One thing that is negative, but I'm going to turn it into a positive, is the Edmonton Oilers' history in Game 1s during the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl era. In fact, it's gone horribly. They own a 3-10 record in Game 1 since Connor and Leon joined the team. They lost to San Jose in 17, Winnipeg 21, got swept, LA in 22, Calgary 22, Colorado 22. This is all Game 1s. LA 23, Vegas 23, Vancouver 24, and of course to the Florida Panthers last season in the Stanley Cup Final. But fret not, young Pang and Eben, because the Edmonton Oilers, when they drop Game 1, that's 10 losses. They have gone 6-4 in those series. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but hey, that's why we're not concerned if anything doesn't go our way in Game 1. When they win Game 1, they're actually 2-1 in those series. So both, hey, they got winning records. So whatever happens tonight, as long as they don't tie, I can find a way to spin this to a positive. Yes, fret not. The start of a series, always important. Definitely more so when you're on the road, definitely in a hostile environment like T-Mobile Arena. We've been in there. They got the theatrics. They got the shame going on. That crowd's going to be rowdy. I do expect there to be a fair amount of Edmonton Oilers orange out there. With that Game 1 history would probably tell you to bet Vegas Golden Knights money line in this hockey game, but that is not something I'm going to do. And the fact of the matter is, Pangsy, the goal is always going to be, when you're starting out on the road, steal one, steal home ice advantage, split it, find a way to bring it back to Edmonton and Rogers Place. They got 2 opportunities to do that. Imagine they win this game tonight. Oilers Nation Every Day tomorrow is going to be dispensing the Kool-Aid, I will tell you that. But thoughts on the Oilers' history in Game 1? Where's your confidence level tonight?
Bordzy, I mean,
that sounded like
that statistic. I mean, I like going with the numbers sometimes, but you know what? I feel last series could be a really good learning. I mean, any of the series in the last period when they go 0-2.
This is where the buck stops here. The buck stops here.
But like just the adversity from that last one, and you know what? Maybe I'm going to revert back to Pickard. Maybe having Pickard in that. They do. It seems like they play different in front of Pickard. Perhaps they get it together and they could rally and win this Game 1 tonight.
Oh, baby, that would be lovely. Calvin Pickard played Vegas once in his life. We were there. 1-0 against them. Let's go now to our need to know information, courtesy of our friends from Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn that Will Hawk name, made from a 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and their jerky, sausage, and other products can be found exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more information and to get your jerky on, visit WillHawkBeefJerky.com. This is the 4th consecutive year the Edmonton Oilers have reached the second round, and they have gone 7-3 in playoff series in the last 4 years. Edmonton and Vegas, Pat, I do believe we have the graphic of their head-to-head history from this regular season because both teams went 2-2. The Oilers lost 4-2 at home back on November 6th, I do believe that one was. Then they lost 1-0 December 3rd, and then, hey, they turned it on. Back half, they win 6-3 back at Rogers Place December 14th. And then, Panger, let's reference it again. They won when we were on the nation vacation. That was a beautiful one. Leon scored. That was part of the bankroll. Anytime goal scorer. And obviously, Calvin Pickard was in the net. Oilers expected to roll out the exact same lineup as the last game against the LA Kings, which is Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Corey Perry. Pat, if we have the visual, we'll take it. But Kaner, RNH Hyman on the second line. Third line of Freddie, Rico, and Barowny. Your fourth line, Pods, Matthias Janmark, and Victor Arvidsson. And then your D pairings, Nurse with Bush, Wallman with Klingberg, Kulak with Emberson. But as we know, Pang and Eben, that is just a recommendation because everybody's going to be playing with everybody. The extras include Jeff Skinner, he's out, Kasperi Kapanen, Max Jones, Derek Ryan, still with the squad, shout out. And then Troy Stetcher is officially healthy, but it applies to Calvin Pickard. It applies to this D-core. If it ain't broke, do not fix it. I saw great things in the final couple games against the LA Kings. Calvin Pickard, he officially gets the start. The Golden Knights, for them, they only have one injury that is of note. and it is quite of note as Pavel Dorofeyev will remain out tonight. He'll miss his second straight game with an undisclosed injury. It's a huge loss for the Golden Knights. He led the team in goals in the regular season, put home 35 in 82 games. He had 22 at even strength. He had the second most power play goals on the team as well. And then you'll see when you look at their lineup, it's elevated Keegan Colasar into their top six. He'll play with Tomas Hertl and Brandon Saad. The top line of Eichel, Stone, and Wild Bill, as I call him, Wild Bill Carlson. And then you see it, Ivan Barbashev, Nick Waugh, and Riley Smith, third line. Olofsson, Howden, Brett Howden, not Brett Holden. That's Brett Howden there. Tanner Pearson on the fourth line. Your deep pairings, Braden McNabb with Shea Theodore. Say goodbye to the Oil Knight as he walks out of Greta. You never know what crazy characters you're just going to see casually walk by as you're doing the show. Nicholas Hag with Alex Pietrangelo. Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud. And then, Golden Knights, not great. Round one against Minnesota Wild, but as I said, they started to find it out. Aiden Hill, he's getting the start. Almost watched the server trip right there while she was carrying wings, but she didn't. Yeah. That was a fantastic recovery. Shout out Annie. Aiden Hill gets the start. He had 2 rough outings in round 1. It was games 2 and 3. He allowed 8 goals on 37 shots. Then the next 3 games, he casually put up a .918 save percentage over those ones. Let's go now. Sherwood Ford Giants storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Also, shout out our Instagram, TikTok, wherever you go. You go check out the video we posted. It's a great description, everything, TikTok, day in the life of the Nation truck, because we took advantage of the Nation valet service Tyler did, where he drives it into work in the morning. The staff from Sherwood Ford comes and picks it up at the office, drives it back to the dealership, does all the work it needs to do, drives it back to him. By the time he was even done Oilers Nation radio or real life,
done.
Sherwood Ford, Giant, the Giant for a reason, people. My storyline, I think it will be for games 1 and 2, is the start. We saw the difference from the Edmonton Oilers as we went later in the series. We definitely saw it game 5 against the LA Kings in a hostile environment on the road where the LA Kings were the best home team in the regular season. The Oilers got to find a way to start well in games and in the series, because I feel like coming back down 0-2 to Edmonton, you're never out of it until you lose at home. But it feels different than it would against the LA Kings, right? It's the Golden Knights. They don't tend to play with their food. They're a championship squad. And I just think surviving the first wave of emotion from the hometown fans tonight going to be quite important. Keep your bearings. My key to victory. We kind of already touched on it. Be smart defensively. The Edmonton Oilers this season have been known for giving up odd man rushes the other way and brutal back-breaking turnovers in their own end. You might be able to get away with some of those against the LA Kings. I do think they had their fair share of odd man rush chances. Gavin Pickard made the save, or the Oilers got lucky. Who cares? I think against the Vegas Golden Knights, you're not going to be as lucky in that case. Just be smart. Live to see another day in your own end. And can guys like John Klingberg, who was fantastic in round 1, can he continue to find that game in round 2? And one where I feel the Vegas Golden Knights might be a little bit more physical, little dump and chase style. And can you withstand being drilled in the back into the boards every single time you're going back there, and stay composed and not have unforced errors? Panger, do you got a storyline or a key to victory for me?
Yeah, I would say a key to victory. I sound like a broken record, but it is their depth players. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I feel the Vegas Golden Knights are going to toss out that Jack Eichel line, and I think it's going to come down to line 2. You got Nugent Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Evander Kane. I feel on that line, Evander Kane is going to be that X-factor person. Last series, he scored 2 big goals, 2 tying goals. I was there in attendance at Rogers. I lost my ish. I lost my ish there when he scored.
He lost his shit. That's what he meant to say right there.
And with that said, you mentioned it. He's going to get better and better and better. And I think 2 years ago when I said I kind of wanted less like action and of the extracurricular stuff, I think with Kane, I think he got a little bit sidetracked. I think he's going to be a little bit more focused. And with him, he'll be the X factor. He's going to drive that line. And I feel, line 2 and line 3 would be a key to victory.
Jeff Skinner, live from the press box, is in the chat. Says second line could be a game changer. 100%, man. We've seen Nuge. He's hot. He's cold sometimes. But when he's hot and he's feeling it as a centerman, you got Zach Hyman, who's just been lining up people at the end of that series.
Crushing dudes.
Dude, so many hits from Zach Hyman where
Yeah.
I saw a tweet earlier today. He averaged less than 1 hit a game in the regular season. And then in this series, just once again, lining dudes up. It's fantastic.
Can I ask you this?
Of course.
Do you feel that's kind of that Evander Kane rubbing off on him, knowing that you got another guy on the other side?
That's literally what I was about to say. I was going to say, I think when you got the two-headed monster coming down the wing, you dump a puck in, you see that's Kaner's game. And once again, Zach Hyman is a below the goal line type of player. He's a crash net, greasy guy. And yeah, also Kaner's just electric out there on the ice. So you just want to be around him and just kind of feel some of those good vibes. The other one, eyes within, key discipline, kind of what you said, Mr. Burns. Same sentiment. Avoid dumb penalties. Make the few power plays you get count. Special teams, obviously going to be big in this one. We'll talk to our pal Devin Dubnyk about that in just a moment. Pat, you can just throw up the Oilers lineup in case we have people joining us late and they want to get to know what it looks like. Same thing as what we had at Game 6 against the LA Kings. But it's something we touched on before you mentioned it. It's crazy to say, but the Edmonton Oilers might be getting healthier as the NHL playoffs move along, which is not something that gets said very often. Other teams incredibly banged up, and especially as you continue to move on to the third round, the fourth round, but it's true. Also, shout out, bringing me a coffee cup. I've gone this whole show without drinking a beer. It's not very true to pre-gaming. If you do so, ask me. But 3 guys in particular. Evander Kane completely finding his legs. Trent Frederick just looked better and better with arguably every single shift that he's getting out there. John Klingberg has come from literally out of nowhere to be a huge part of this Oilers back end. He's been as clutch as you can say. 3 guys who have not played in a long time, but are now catching up to speed with every practice, every game, every shift. They're feeling more comfortable. That doesn't even mention Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, who sat out the end of the regular season in order to get to as close to 100% full health as they can. Banger, it's crazy to say because the playoffs are a war. It's a battle of attrition. But the Oilers, knock on wood, besides Matthias Ekholm right now, feeling pretty good health-wise.
Absolutely. And I want to touch on what you said in regards to John Klingberg. That guy missed like a month of hockey and then came into game 2 and just started making silky
He played 18 minutes in
toys, passes, walking the line, deking guys out, finding Draisaitl, and I think in game 2 for like a snipe like that. And so there's a question you posed, and you mentioned the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be a harder forechecking team than the Los Angeles Kings. And I feel the Oilers, their defense is a very mobile defense. I was really paying attention to John Klingberg. The first game in game 2, when he was inserted into the lineup, I think the Kings wanted to take advantage of that rustiness. They were dumping it into his corner. And he made plays like I watch hockey, I write about hockey. He made plays I didn't see that I'm like, whoa, like
They're subtle.
They're so subtle that I'm like, and he's only going to get better with more reps. So I feel John Klingberg is going to have a heck of a series here.
I feel like there's just moments where he's obviously not a physical guy.
No.
He's not a beast by any means, but he's in these scrums, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, 36 got the puck, and he's skating it out calm, cool, collected, making a great tape-to-tape pass. We could use more of that. Also, quickly, I want to give some love to Budweiser. Shout out to Bud. Budweiser has been brewed in Edmonton for 45 years, and by partnering with Mark Messier, a proud Edmontonian, on this limited edition can, the brand set out to ignite the City of Champions spirit. At a time when Budweiser knows the city is united and energized, the brand is giving Edmontonians a new way to express their pride by raising a cold one and reminding them that the champion spirit still runs deep. Banger, I was handed my coffee cup now, so I can't say. Cheers to you. Cheers to Mark Messier. Cheers to the Edmonton Oilers of faithful. Sorry, I went a very long time without a drink there, so that felt good. Let's go now quickly. Starting goaltender report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. The lake is calling my name, and I'm sure it is for you as well. The deal still stands for the regular season. If you buy a boat from Sherwood Power Sports Marine, you're contractually obligated to let me know so we can then become best friends. They got more than boats. They got ATVs, dirt bikes, motorcycles, quads, scooters, little scoot action as well. Get down there. And also, if you want to get all your outdoor toys serviced, they can do that as well. They do a fantastic work. Patrick, pull it up for me. The tail of the tape between the two goaltenders in Aiden Hill and Calvin Pickard. So Aiden Hill's got the better goals against. Calvin Pickard's got the better save percentage, but more important than anything, he is 4-0. We talked about it. my confidence is through the roof when it comes to Calvin Pickard. He's been ever since he's been in Edmonton Oilers, there's just not much you could be disappointed about with Calvin Pickard. We got to go quickly here, so I want to talk more importantly about the other guy in Aiden Hill, who was by no means bad in round one. Those are not bad numbers, and also if you checked any goalie's numbers throughout round one, not ideal.
Woof.
Also, you don't want to be a Vezina finalist because you're not. I guess Hellebuck did move on, but not great from him, right? And Aiden Hill, we know what he's about. He's a clutch player. I do have a tweet, Pat. I know you're a little busy right now, so there's a tweet in here. Oh, shit, I'm doing that live on the screen. Here, let me take that off for a moment. I got one in here. And it's a tweet regarding his numbers. Bang, here it is. Aiden Hill, 16-9 in the playoffs. He has posted at least a 900 save percentage in 18 of his 24 starts. He has allowed 2 or few goals in 12 of those 24 starts. The guy gets the job done no matter what this app says about him. He's only 28 years old. He's got a cup to his name. He does have that cup-winning pedigree. But the Oilers, they can exploit this guy, right? Right?
I hope
right?
so. I hope so. I sure damn hope so, because anytime...
I got a pistol.
I think so. You know what? I'm going to say anytime it seems like Aiden Hill plays the Oilers, he looks like prime Dubnyk Hasek out there. I don't know what it is, but he just rises to the occasion against McDavid and Draisaitl. But you know what? Again, the Oilers are rolling, and the one thing that they have with them is momentum. Again, and I will say, McDavid, Draisaitl, only getting 3 points in those last 2 games. I'm going to say it again, but depth will play a huge factor in this series.
Over under. I wonder how many times we've said depth so far in this episode. Something tells me we're going to be saying a lot in this possible 7-game series. Let's quickly go now to the away lineup brought to you by my humble abode, Greta Bar Yeg, my favorite spot in the city. Arcade, bar, street food. Vibes are impeccable right now. This place is actually pretty packed right now, dude. I'm pretty impressed.
Where do you sleep at the end of the night?
So you see the patio out in the front there? They got new cushions over there, brand new ones. They tuck me in late at night, blanket. They plug my phone in.
Jammies?
I keep those in the back in the coat check.
Okay, nice.
Somebody left them here a while ago, and then I just took them. But there, you see it. Projected lineup. We already went through it. Wild Bill, Eichel, Stoner, Sod, Hurdle, Kolesar, Barbashev, Waugh, Smith, Olofsson, Brett, Howden, not Holden, with Tanner Pearson, McNabb with Theodore, Nicholas Hague with Alex Pietrangelo, Boo, Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud. I mentioned it. The part that I'm worried is that decor from the Las Vegas Golden Knights, because you look at it, they've got one of Pietrangelo, Theodore, or Hannafin all on a different pairing. Now I expect in crunch time like the Oilers, you're just going to play your big dogs. But at least to start it, I think that's a good way to combat the Edmonton Oilers' depth. We also know they're big, they're mean, they can do all kinds of stuff. They are experienced. I think they have a high hockey IQ on that back end. And the Oilers kind of took advantage of LA's overworked decor in round one, I would say. Don't know if that's going to be the case. I think the minutes are going to be a little bit more spread out from the Las Vegas Golden Knights. But this series, just in general, that decor, much, much more difficult than the Los Angeles Kings. And then the other thing I want to talk about, so Jack Eichel was kind of held in check in round one against the Minnesota Wild. We had Steve Peters, former video analyst on Oilers Nation Every Day Today, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite guests that we have on the show. He is a smart man who used to be a video coach in the NHL. He was the video coach for Team North America with one Connor McDavid on the squad, but he was talking about how Minnesota just blanketed the shit out of Jack Eichel whenever he crossed the red line, especially when he crossed the blue line, not giving him more than a stick length of open space. He was getting frustrated as the series went along. Maybe the Oilers can do that. I don't know. That top line looks pretty tough. Mark Stone, Eichel, and Wild Bill.
Yeah, and the thing with Wild Bill as well, I got to give him credit. Did you see his Selly in the Stanley Cup win where they had to cut him off because he was too drunk?
Oh, of course. Of course.
So I got to give that guy props.
That's a man after my own heart.
But I will say, again, looking up the stats, the last 2 games against the Wild, they completely shut them down, and they scored 3 goals at 5v5. So that's going to be a tough task for the Oilers. The Oilers defense, I will say, though, the Oilers have, I feel, one of the more mobile defenses got a little distracted. We saw Bag Milky walk by. I can't multitask.
You want to also be distracted? Colton's in. I want Aaron and Pangs to kiss. Aaron and Pangs, please kiss.
Oh, Colton, you beauty, man.
That is for the
I
ones in the
miss that
chat.
guy.
That's one of Bordzy's boys who came on the nation vacation.
Nation vacation, you meet
And,
friends. Yeah.
Hey, what's my price? What's my price for a super chat to the Ben Stelter Foundation? That's a dangerous game that I just opened up. Let's go now. Time for Bordzy's Bankroll, baby. Brought to you by Bet365, because you know the drill. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You can get in on a little bit of everything right now. You got your Stanley Cup futures. You can do series winners. You can obviously do goals, overs, money line, puck line, whatever you want at Bet365. It is a reality, and that is the only place where Bordzy is placing his bankroll. All right, Pat, let's hit it for me here. I got one on the third one. I want to ask a question live, so let's chat. Also find out my first option, Connor McDavid, 1+ power play point, plus 145 right now, currently listed on Bet365. Vegas, I mentioned it, had the 26th ranked PK unit in the regular season. McDavid also registered in 2023, played 6 games against the Knights. He had 6 power play points in that series.
Okay.
He also had 10 total points, which may or may not be a trivia question later tonight inside this bar. If you're coming down, bang, I already gave you one. And he had 1 power play point in 3 games, I think, this regular season against the Golden Knights. Don't quote me. Either way, power play, couldn't get a whole lot. I mean, I'm not going to say a whole lot. They were 38%, but it just wasn't the same you felt in round 1 from the Oilers. I think the power play is going to be a key area, and McDavid touches the puck the most on the power play, so that was my thinking there. The next one, Darnell Nurse shot prop, 2 shots. This guy minus 190 currently. I don't care. I'm hitting it because he's been hitting it. He's hit it in 5 of the 6 games in the regular season. That chick's wearing the exact same hat as me. Shout out the Edmonton. Shout out Unparalleled. Use promo code Bordzy10 at checkout. And in 6 games of round 1, Darnell had 16 shots on goal. So just looking for 2 this evening. Feeling pretty good about that one. And then here's my question to you. Do I go Hyman anytime point minus 110 or Evan Bouchard anytime point minus 140?
Bouchard.
I feel like it's Bouchard, and I had Hyman on here, but then I said to Pat, I'll do it live. Problem is, I already placed Bordzy's bankroll with this one. Maybe we'll do it again responsibly, of course. Yep. Only betting what we're willing to lose. But Panger, you look at these 3 bets. Which one of them do you like the most?
Well, I like the Nurse one because it has better odds. I'd say those are better odds to
well, yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's more likely to happen. Less payout, but more likely.
Oh, less likely. Yeah, I mean the Connor 1 PP point. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna say what I said because I don't want to jinx it. But yeah,
don't you dare, Pat.
I'm not gonna jinx it.
Don't you dare jinx it right now.
I'll go with the first one.
Pat, I'm curious, what do you got here? And if you have any money placed on Bet365?
No, I haven't placed anything. Just strictly at a superstition. I find a lot of the time it's a little selfish. Just the way it goes for me. If I bet we lose, so I'm staying away from it. But I'm with Pangsy here. I think 97 on the power play. I mean, assuming we get a couple, knock on wood, I think that's a pretty safe one.
I have not looked up. Maybe someone in the chat can look up. Who are the referees in this game tonight? Because round 1, not so ideal. We'll actually talk to our pal Devin Dubnyk about that in just a second. I like Connor power play point. You know what? Card laid's a card played. I'm going to stick with the Hyman 1+ points. Yeah. And I believe when I parlayed these together, so on Bet365, unfortunately, you can't parlay power play point. Not entirely sure why. They still haven't responded to my harshly worded email. Trying to get that one fixed. I'm on the front lines. Don't you worry. So I did McDavid regular points and with the other 2 bets. And it came out to plus 230 parlayed. So, ladies and gentlemen, Oil Country, let's ride. Let's go now. Bring in our new pal, Panger. You got to meet him. Devin Dubnyk, and his appearances brought to you by Tourism Jasper. Because this summer, it's time to get out to Jasper. This summer, find your happy place. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, sharing laughs by the fire, happiness finds you in Jasper. It's open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late. Oh, me, Banger? Never. Vegas, I barely slept when I was on that trip because your best summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip at jasper.travel/summer. Dubes, my first question to you. You lived in Edmonton a very long time. Did you make some trips out to Jasper before? And what a beautiful country out there.
I have made a couple trips to Jasper, and it was unbelievable. Actually, one of our trips was a training camp, a little team building thing. Once the team was made, we went as a group up to Jasper. stayed at the hotel. We were golfing. There were elk just roaming around the property like they were human beings. We were told not to run around at night because it's dangerous with the elk. We obviously didn't listen. We had a ton of fun there. One of the most beautiful places I have ever been. We rode our bikes from the hotel to the rink practice, and then would ride our bikes back to the hotel, and then we'd golf during the day. And one time we were riding our bikes back, and we stopped to look out over the water because it's just beautiful, crystal clear Mirror Lake, just enjoying the view. Turned around about 50 yards away. There was a male elk just posted up, chest out, staring at us. And that was me, Nuge, and Ryan Jones. I don't know if you remember Ryan Jones, buddy of mine. And,
of course, I remember Ryan Jones, Doobie. Please.
Jonesy lives about 15 minutes from me here, so we're still really good buddies. But yeah, Jasper is just incredible. You got to get there.
I'm going to need to try and see if we can find a way to get Jonesy on Oilers Nation because
we can do it.
Loved that dude back in the day. Here's one of my favorites. But Doobie,
we'll go side by side. We'll go side by side in the camera. I'll get him over here.
That'd be my dream, dude. That'd be fantastic. Because I've told you, lifelong Edmontonian. I lived through the decade of darkness as well. Not maybe like you did, but as a fan base, and I love them. Dubes, we didn't get to celebrate the victory after Game 6 on Thursday night. You had prior commitments. Probably a good thing because this bar was loud and this bar was partying, and so was I. The Edmonton Oilers completely turned the table in that series. Games 1 and 2 was not looking like a Stanley Cup team from the Oilers. No idea who those dudes were. And then all of a sudden they snap their fingers. They find their game. The thing was, we touched on it throughout some of the games, especially at the end. It wasn't the McDavid or Leon Draisaitl show. It was the depth that shined through. We had big goals from Janmark, Kaner, Hyman, Perry scored a bunch. Pretty much everybody, 11 of the 12 forwards for the Edmonton Oilers scored a goal in round 1. The only guy who didn't was Pods. He racked up 4 apples. Connor Brown, that's the other name that I wanted to say. Got to give him some love. The Oilers' depth is what has me feeling confident going into this Vegas Golden Knights series because, Dubs, if you get a full effort like that night in and night out, the Golden Knights are going to be in tough here.
It's impossible to not be in tough if you're getting depth from the Oilers because you know what you're getting from your top guys. It almost doesn't exist where there's a night that they're not chipping in at least a couple points. So when you can start getting that depth scoring, that's something they were missing a couple years ago when they lost to Vegas. When Vegas went all the way, was that depth scoring just wasn't there. And Connor and Leon are still doing their thing. That's always going to be there. So if you can add that depth scoring and you're putting up 4 or 5 a night, it makes life a whole lot easier on their goaltenders. And 4 or 5 a night seems like a lot. But when you watch the Oilers and the way they're playing right now, it's really not with the offense and the creativity that they have and what they're able to generate with their turnovers and puck movement right now. That the 4 or 5 a night when they can get depth scoring is really not out of reach.
Another one that's going to be very important. Edmonton Oilers do not have a great track record in Game 1s. In the McDavid and Draisaitl era, they are 3-10 in Game 1s. However, fret not, once again, they are 6-4 in those series when they lose Game 1. The start to the series, obviously very important. I said it earlier, I feel like going down 0-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights would feel a heck of a lot different than going down 0-2 to the LA Kings. The start to the series, very important. The start to the game tonight as well, Doobie. Going to be in a hostile environment. T-Mobile Arena, they got all the theatrics. I'm sure all those fans are going to be extra rowdy. Thoughts on bringing some of the start that they had at the latter games in round 1, bringing that start here in Game 1 against Vegas?
Yeah, well, I think Vegas is one of the only places that could even touch the noise level at Rogers Place. So they're used to it. It'll be a crazy atmosphere. But yes, going down 0-2 to Vegas is a different beast, I think. But also you got to go and you got to get at least one of these. And why not start with the first? I think the most important thing here is getting going right off of the way they were playing to end that series. It didn't matter what LA was doing. Obviously, that had a bearing on what Edmonton was doing, but Edmonton was doing what they wanted to do. They were playing their game. They weren't waiting for LA. They were pressuring. And we talked over and over in what was going right for them in the final 3 games. And the defensive pressure, the pressure on zone entries, turning the puck over, and that turns into them immediately moving the puck and going on offense, which is why Edmonton is so dangerous. So not only are you defending and not giving up good chances, but you're quickly turning the puck back, going the other way, wearing out the other team, creating chances. And the quicker that the Oilers can get the puck moving and get in their offensive players' hands. Connor, Leon, Nuge, all these guys, the better off they're going to be. And they create and they confuse and they wear the other team down. And that starts with the pressure and the aggressiveness in the D zone, on the zone entries, getting it back up the ice into these guys' hands.
Hey, Doobie, Sean Pang and Even here. Nice to meet you. I do got to say one thing. My best friend has 3 jerseys, one being Mark Messier, his second being Devin Dubnyk, and his third, Ryan Jones. I just need to say that.
No way. No way.
His 3 jerseys he owns. I do want to ask about the Oilers PK. It kind of struggled, it struggled last series against the LA Kings. I believe right now they're last in the league. What did you see last series, and what's the outcome? What are you looking at as far as their PK goes against the Vegas Golden Knights here?
Yeah, and it's going to be important. There needs to be a fix. They got their kills. They got their huge kills that they needed to. I still don't think the end zone is where it needs to be. I think it's too easy. We talked about it last series. I don't understand. This is obviously what they're trying to do, but I don't understand the high forward. When the guy goes down the wall into the corner, the high forward kind of passively following into the corner, and then they just kick it back up low to high, and that top D-man has all the time in the world. And it obviously seems to be a play that the Oilers are trying to. Like on the PK, you try to set up what you want, but it didn't make sense because that guy has all the time in the world to sift one through if he wants to, or go back across, which then on the switches, they were hitting the seam back the other way for Fiala or Kempe to walk down with a head of steam and take a shot. And it just seemed too easy to me. I'd like them to be a little more structured, a little more aggressive at the start, trying to get those clears. And I think that's what they were able to do. I didn't think there was anything super exciting about their in-zone play that they changed, except they didn't have to play in-zone nearly as much. They were getting minimum 2 up to 3 and 4 clears each penalty kill. And so they only had to kill, they were only in-zone structure for maybe 15, 20, 25 seconds of the power play. And there's maybe one look and then they get the clear. And that's why they got the job done. So if they do get stuck in their zone, hopefully we see something a little different, because I think if it's a minute plus zone time, we're not going to like what we see unless they make a change. But if they can continue to get the clears, that's going to be huge.
I got to call a quick audible on Doobie's keys to victory, because we just got some big news regarding the Vegas Golden Knights. Alex Pietrangelo is out of tonight's hockey game due to an illness. Damn, that's a shame. Somebody can't come down and tomahawk chop his hand like he tried to do Leon Draisaitl a couple years ago. Dubes, that's massive news to start this hockey game. Obviously, top-ranked defenseman, one of the best in the NHL, I'd say, was on Team Canada, then declined it due to injury. He's out with illness. I'm saying he's just scared. I'm starting that rumor right now. But Dubes, that's a big loss for the Golden Knights. Huge loss.
I mean, that's your top 1, top 2 at worst defenseman who plays all kinds of minutes, and especially defensive minutes. And yeah, that's a big plus for Edmonton. It's amazing when you take a guy out like that. We saw it with Ekholm. It puts a lot of strain and a lot of minutes on guys who aren't necessarily able to play those minutes. And obviously Vegas is a very good team and they're deep, but it's amazing when you take away a guy like that, a minute muncher that just plays in all situations, how much different a team is when you start asking, a 4th and 5th defenseman to start playing 2nd and 3rd minutes. The drop off is pretty big. And so that's a huge positive for Edmonton. Obviously you never want to say it's a positive when someone's sick or injured, but good time to take advantage of getting rid of these, this 3-10 game 1 garbage here.
No, Dubes, I'll say it. I'm pretty thrilled about that. He's got an illness. Their pairings expected to be Braden McNabb, Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud, Nick Hague with Caden Korzak, who is expected to come into this one. The other key, the Edmonton Oilers, it's the power play. It's obviously you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And they connected on a good rate finally at the end of the series. I believe it was 38.5% in round 1. And while they were good, Dubes, we talked about it night in, night out. They didn't get nearly enough opportunities. I thought I was going to have an aneurysm inside this bar. I was blowing steam out of my ears at points. Obviously the power play is going to have to be good, but it would be very nice if the Edmonton Oilers could get some calls to go their way in this series. McDavid, we know it. We watch it every single night. Just gets harassed out there. But power play, obviously a big key to victory.
It is, and getting that power play going, it is difficult when you're only getting 1 or 2 a game. And I think for Edmonton, now here's the thing: LA did play very disciplined, so it wasn't like you're watching the entire game and feeling like there's a penalty every other shift. There wasn't there. There was missed calls that were so blatantly obvious, and when there's not very many plays that you see that are calls, and you feel like it's gone the entire game where they haven't got a power play, then those obvious ones are the frustrating ones. So I don't think, not a lot of teams are as disciplined in the way they play as LA. I think that as long as Edmonton has possession of the puck, keeps their feet moving, that the guys roaming around the offensive zone just going 100 miles an hour, that's when you're just going to look at the McDavid penalty against McDavid in overtime. That's just, they're flying around there and he just turns the wrong way and trips them. And so that's how they have to do it, to just force the referees to make these calls. And then when they get on the power play, don't be stagnant. I mean, the reason the Oilers power play is as insane as it is because you can't defend it, because there's something different all the time. I mean, Connor McDavid's doing circles, making everybody dizzy, and Leon just finding a pocket somewhere that he knows he's going to get hit, or Nuge in the slot, or a Bush bomb. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. You can't take it to the video room and be like, here, we're going to defend this, because it's not even a set play. They're just all over the place. And I think those first few games against LA, it was just this stagnant 5 guys, and then they try to force one through the box and they just pick it off and shoot it out the other way, and they'd only have 1 or 2 opportunities, and it just didn't look like their power play. And so they needed to, we talked about it, establish a shot at some point. Don't just throw it in there. You don't want to turn it over. But it was too easy for LA, knowing they weren't going to shoot, knowing they were going to force these passes through. They didn't respect the shot. And I think you have to start with that. You have to establish a shot and have the other team respect it at least. Rebounds cause chaos, cause them to get running around a little bit out of their structure. That's when you bring the creativity in, the seam passes, the crazy stuff that we all blow up at when we see it happen.
So, Doobie, one of the biggest storylines I got coming into tonight isn't coming on the ice. It's Gene Principe's new haircut that he got earlier today. Gino looking, I said it earlier, he's looking handsome as shit out there. You give a man a haircut.
He's going to be just swatting ladies off of him.
Like I also said, if he looks this good, he's going to be in his bag to start this one off. But my question to you is going to be, you're living in Minnesota, right? You don't get to watch the Sportsnet broadcast, do you? Because we're in a treat. We get this with Gene Principe, and then the Oilers dropped this one earlier with Bob Stauffer yesterday.
Stop.
He's
out there. He's reading people's minds as he's walking. New head of hair too. What a beauty.
I'm curious, Dubs. Do you have any good Gene Principe stories or a Bob Stauffer story? Gino is one of the greatest guys in the city. It's like they always say, don't meet your heroes. Gene Principe, I've met him so many times. He's nice. Just the greatest dude. He's just the nicest guy. Any good ones with Gino or Bob? We love Bob too.
The thing with Gino, there's just not you're right. There's not a specific story. He's like, he has he has this corny gig that he does, but he's bought all into it and he loves it and he does it so well. But the thing with Gene is he is genuinely one of the best human beings you'll ever meet. He cares, the whole time I'm there. He's just a really, really good person, and always a smile when you see him. And it was a pleasure to be around him when I was there. And, from the time that I left Edmonton going forward, we kept in touch. And just always happy to see him, say hi, have a conversation. He's just one of the best people in the business, hands down.
What a great guy to be around. And then Bob Stauffer, not the actual one in the chat, says, hide your wives. Dubes, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube channel, Oilers Nation After Dark, right at the conclusion of Game 1. I hope we're talking positively. Question to you before I let you go. Give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer for the Edmonton Oilers.
I am going to go. Let's go 3-2 Oilers. Let's go with Bush. Let's go with Bush and pray to the hockey gods that we get to talk positive about him after the game. Because when we get to, it's so much more fun, and it usually means an Oilers win.
Post-game shows, especially Greta Barrieg, way better after a W than an L. Devin Dubnyk, we love you. We appreciate you. We will talk to you in just a bit. Dub's appearance is brought to you by Jasper, of course, Tourism Jasper. And as Dubs just told you, it's an awesome place to be. I also feel like Dubs could take on an elk. I 100% believe that he'd be capable to do that. But, hey, who knows? Either way, I digress. Final question, score prediction, anytime goal scorer. Pat, same goes to you. Then I got a party to host.
4-2, anytime goal scorer, Evander Kane.
Patrick Puff.
5-3 Oilers, and I think I got to go Draisaitl. Kept him off the score sheet just a little bit. He's due.
What'd you say?
4-2.
5-3.
I'm also riding with 4-2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4-2. Empty net goal. Zachary Martin Hyman, anytime goal as well. And that will do it for us pre-gaming with Bordzy, with Pangsy. Also, final love, want to give it Oodle Noodle. Shout them out. You don't want to cook tonight. You want to order. Download their new app. Customer loyalty rewards points. We love them. Pat, we're good. We're on our way out. I'll talk to you guys at Oilers Nation After Dark. And as I said, I got a party full of people to host right now. Get on down to Greta, and hopefully we can all celebrate a big old W together later tonight. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Over and out.